go ahead and draw 2 squished ovals. You can even tilt them a little bit so that the outer edges are tilted ever so slightly upwards. And before you go any further than this, stop and ask yourself, could you fit about the length of one more eye in between the 2 you just drew? If not, erase the weaker one or the one you like less and draw it again. This time, making sure you have about the space of a third eye right in between. You don't want the eyes on your character to be too close, and you don't want them to get too far apart for this style. So take a minute and get the placement in a good place before moving forward. So much of making beautiful art comes down to shape design and spacing, so things like proportions. This foundation is what will make the difference in the look of your finished piece. So don't get into adding details until you feel like this is right, and that would be about the space of one more eye in between, approximately. Okay, I'm liking this placement, so I'm ready to add detail. So what I like to think about when drawing cute character eyes actually is 2 pumpkin seed shapes. So I keep that in the back of my head while drawing. So now with my 3H pencil, I'm using a bit harder pressure to darken up the top lash line. And you'll notice I'm using some angles. I'm not just using one smooth arcing line. I'm breaking it up into angles. So it kind of goes up, and then this part goes longer like that. And let me just erase this little line right here. And now, thinking about that pumpkin seed shape, or maybe you could even think of like a lemon shape, I'm lightly refining the edges of the eye. It looks kind of like a squished lemon. And you can see that these aren't perfectly symmetrical, but I'm not going to beat myself up over it. I'm just going to work back and forth between the eyes until I can find the symmetry. All right, so now I'm grabbing my 4B pencil and we're going to draw a simple triangular shape like this. This will become the cat-like eyeliner, and this will look really pretty on our character. So you just draw a straight line out from here, bring it back down like this, bring it around, and color it in. This might take a little practice, so if you want to, start with the light line work first, and then once you see that the shape is looking good and the placement's looking good, fill it in darker. All right, so now I have a dirty stump, and I'm actually just going to draw with it. If you don't have a stump, don't fret, just use your pencil to draw this shape and color it in lightly. When it comes to drawing the iris, which is the colored part of the eye, the main thing to think about is make sure that the top lid overlaps the circular shape of that iris a bit. So take a look at your eyes in a mirror if you want to. Your top lids will likely cover the very tops of your irises. This is a pretty essential thing to do on your characters too, because if you draw the whole circle of the iris, basically the whole thing's exposed, your character is going to look instantly shocked. And we're going for a more subtle, peaceful look for this character. So make sure you can't see the full circles of the irises on your drawing. That top lid's got to overlap it a little bit. All right, so now I've got my 3H, and I'm just going to define the edge of that circular iris shape a bit using curving lines. And you'll see I'm not slowly drawing one line like with a really steady, slow hand. I'm using multiple lighter lines to kind of find my way. Now with my 3H still, I'm going to refine the lower lash line. I'm sketching a little bit to create sort of a chunky shape there to show the form of the lower lid. And since I'm here, let me just darken up right here. This will make a cast shadow from the top lid onto the eyeball. And I'm not going too wild, I'm just adding a little bit of shading to give a bit more dimension. Now with my stump, I'm just going to blend that out a bit, soften it up some. I really like the Art Alternatives brand for stumps, but like I said, if you don't have one of these, try Q-tip, it really works great, and I use that sometimes too. All right, now I've got my kneaded eraser, and my apologies that you can't see, but I'm just using a molded point of the kneaded eraser to lightly pick up some of the pencil from the lower left sides of the irises. So this will start to give the look of light hitting the eyes. Now I'm using my darker 4B pencil to darken up the top of this eye here. This will receive a cast shadow in most lighting scenarios from the upper lid, so I want to make sure I darken that up. So now I'm going to use my kneaded eraser again, and I got a little too dark in what's often called the whites of the eyes, or the sclera, so I'm just lightening that up. Now I've got my 4B pencil, and I'm just going to refine the edges of these shapes a little bit more. Now I'm grabbing my 3H pencil to hint at the crease here at the upper lid. I'm just sort of mimicking the arc I've already created before. This curve is a little bit smoother though. All right, let's draw some lashes. One of the keys to drawing lashes is confidence. So if you want, practice this movement on a scrap piece of paper first, but it's basically a flicking motion you'll make as you draw the lashes, pressing harder at the very beginning of the stroke and lighter as you flick to the end of the eyelash. I find it takes a certain speed too, so not too slow where you're shaky and not too fast where your eyelashes are going to end up looking rushed. But the speed is somewhere in between. The lashes are also longer along the outer edges of the eyes and then shorter as they come inward, so keep this length in mind too. Along the bottom lash line, I like to think of the bottom lashes as forming little triangles where the ends of the lashes touch. So try grouping some of these little curved triangular shapes and leave a couple others as standalone lashes. All right, let's draw the pupils now. With my 4B, I'm drawing these circular shapes. But we can't just leave them like this or she'll look hypnotized. So we'll have to do a little bit of subtle shading and blending. So grab your stump or your Q-tip and bring that up into the top lid, into that cast shadow. Softening this up will help avoid that hypnotized look. Now I'm using my electric eraser to lift up a little bit of the pencil tone on the bottom left of the irises again. You can also use a kneaded eraser for this though, or even a regular eraser. With erasers though, just be sure you're using a clean part of the eraser. If you use a dirty part, it can leave behind some ugly marks. So just be careful and make sure that you're using a clean part of the eraser before you use it. Time for the eyebrows. So start by drawing the eyebrows with light pressure. This will help you find the placement of them. I like to arc this part up here with some sketchy lines. Then I bring the arc back down. Then over here again, I arc it up with a sketchy tone. And I bring it back down. Now I'll grab my handy dandy stump and smooth it out. I find drawing good brows is less about drawing hairs and more about getting the shape and angles down. So make sure you have decent symmetry and good shape before thinking about adding any hairs. Now that I'm feeling good about the shape, I'm going to add a couple hairs angled this way here and then back down. And again for this brow, doing a few lines up here and then back down here. Are you having fun drawing your character? I hope you are. I am. Okay, now with my kneaded eraser, I'm just erasing right at the start of the brow a bit. Sometimes the hairs there can go a little lighter, so I'm just hinting at that and drawing in a couple sparse hairs. Okay, now for one of my favorite parts, the eye highlights. Grab a white gel pen if you have it and add a little dot right here, off center from the pupil. Then I'm actually going to pull it across too. Eye highlights are fun, and with stylized character sketches, you can really be experimental with them. But isn't that fun? It makes them look instantly shiny. Now I'm just going to darken up these outer triangular eyeliner shapes here to make the eyes pop with even more contrast. And I'm going to blend that right into the upper lid, almost like eyeshadow. Then I'm just going to define that upper lid crease again with my 4B pencil. Something else you can do with a white gel pen is add a couple little dots on the upper lid. This can make it look like shimmery eyeshadow or like glitter flecks, which is kind of fun. I'm just softening up this bottom part here. And all right, are you ready to draw the nose? I'll see you in the next lesson. Okay, let me paint a picture for you. You sit down, you got your pencil in your hand, and you effortlessly create a cute female character portrait. That sounds pretty cool, right? Well, guess what? It's completely possible for you. Welcome to Character Drawing Made Easy. If you're excited to learn how to draw adorable stylized faces, I got you. In this free mini course, I'll guide you step by step through drawing a cute female character. Here's a look at what's inside. 4 video lessons where you'll learn how to draw eyes, the nose, the mouth, and more. Techniques for adding shading and blending to your characters, bringing them to life, and additional resources that'll help you draw amazing character portraits. Drawing characters is not only fun, but a relaxing way to unwind and explore your creative side. This course is perfect for beginners, so don't feel intimidated, no experience is needed. If you join right now, in about 30 minutes, you'll be looking at a really cute character, hand-drawn by you and ready to share. If we haven't met yet, hi, I'm Gabrielle Brickey, and I'm an online educator with over 10 years experience teaching. I've had the honor of teaching over 100,000 unique artists how to create art that they love. Helping artists like you learn how to draw cute female characters is one of my very favorite topics, and I can't wait to help you enhance your skills today. Are you ready to start? Jump into the free course and get instant access to all the lessons and resources. You'll leave with a drawing you can be proud of. I cannot wait to help you level up your skills. So what are you waiting for? I'll see you inside.